All right, let's get now the latest on the Stilfontein Mine issue in the northwest. SABC News reporter Thabiso is at the mine monitoring developments following that court order granting the mining-affected communities united in action an interdict to give emergency aid to the unknown number of illegal miners. Thabiso, a very good afternoon to you. Just, give us the latest in as far as what has since transpired following this High Court judgment. We know, of course, that community members have been talking about just the life-threatening conditions underground for some of these miners.
Good afternoon, Unati, and our viewers at home. I'm just going to step out of the shot so that I can show you a buggy that is carrying food stuffs for those illegal miners who are still underground. As you'll remember, following that, about the food at this point in time. Remember that the community leaders came here in the morning. I think it was just before 11 o'clock. That they came here to inspect the mine just to check with regard to will they be able to send the food underground. You'll remember that the shaft was cleared following government's intervention, that they are going to start to retrieve those illegal miners following that retrieval operation that was led by community members. So what we see there, these are live visuals of these community members who have came here. They have arrived just literally 5 minutes ago. They are carrying some foodstuffs there, and even water. I can see that. So they are still trying to talk to the police. The question is, will they allow them to go to that shaft and deliver those food supplies underground? You'll remember that the court also spoke about other necessities like medication. So earlier on, we spoke to a community leader, Johannes Kankase, who told us that they are going to start to give those illegal miners food. So he hasn't arrived as yet. So they came here in the morning and they went back to just maybe to get the foodstuffs. And most interestingly, the question is, who is, buying this food for the illegal miners? Is it community members that they are doing this from their own pocket, carrying the cost from their own pocket? So those are some of the questions that arise at this point in time following that High Court judgment or High Court judgment in Pretoria. We are just waiting for them to see if they are still give those illegal miners food at this point in time. Unati.
And Thabiso, that's a very good question. I'm going to try and see if I can continue to engage with you. Your line is not very clear, but the High Court essentially, ordered that the MEC, in fact, for community safety in that province be the one that allows this humanitarian aid, including food, water, and medication for the illegal miners. But what is also of concern is we still don't know how many people are underground at this stage, Thabiso. Any idea following that phase 2 of the investigations, if at all police were able to ascertain how many people are still underground?
Unati, we are at shaft 11. So at shaft 10, that's where we see these illegal miners resurfacing. Earlier on, just before 11 a.m., we have seen 4 illegal miners resurfacing. And we have managed to speak to some of these illegal miners who have resurfaced earlier on. They look very young, even though their age is not confirmed. So we'll hear from the police, I believe, later on. So some of them, you could see that they were injured. And we managed to speak to them. So when we spoke to them, they told us that there are about 700 illegal miners. So what we understand is that some of them are crawling from this shaft, which is shaft 11, to shaft 10, where they'll eventually resurface or emerge and come to the surface. So that's what we had in terms of the number of the exact number of illegal miners who are still underground at this point. It is still very difficult to tell, except the information that we got from the police. So there is contradicting reports, or if I may say, in terms of the number of miners who are still underground. You'll remember that last week Monday, the community safety MEC in the province, Vessels Moron, told us that there are 500 illegal miners underground, and 300 of them were like very weak from what he told us. So that illegal miner that we spoke to earlier on told us there are more than 700 illegal miners underground. And he also told us that one of the illegal miners, he said, is 16 years old. He has died. So we asked him, when did he die? He told me that he died 3 days ago. But that's the information that we got from one of the illegal miners who resurfaced earlier on. But as we speak, the main point now is whether are these illegal miners going to be given food later this day, or what is going to happen.
Now, of course, very quickly, Thabiso, before I let you go, we saw the Minister of Police, Senzo Mchunu, go there last week. I think it was Friday, if memory serves me correct. You've been there since police have intensified their operation Vala Umgodi. Do you see a change since the visit? I mean, outside, of course, of this High Court order, do you see a significant change in terms of just the operations from the police side? Because community members have also been saying, as well as humanitarian lawyers, by the way, that the pace in which this operation is being conducted is very, very slow.
I've lost you a bit there, at the end of your question, but you spoke about the police operation. What we are currently seeing is that the police are still maintaining their presence or visibility here. They are monitoring the situation at this mine shafts, which is shaft 10 and shaft 11. You'll remember shaft 11 is where that retrieval operation that was carried by the community was happening before it was stopped exactly 2 weeks ago. That's when that operation ended. But in terms of the police, we see police manning the shaft 11 as well as shaft 10, as some of the illegal miners are still resurfacing at shaft 10. Remember that yesterday more than 10 illegal miners resurfaced, and even the ones that we spoke to that have resurfaced earlier on at shaft 10, they told us that they are from Mozambique, and it's 4 of them that have resurfaced. So in terms of the police operations, we are still seeing more police here at shaft 11 as well as at shaft 10, Unati.
All right, let's leave it there for now. Thank you so much for that, Thabiso Moss, just giving us an update then following that High Court ruling instructing that humanitarian aid be provided for those illegal miners that are still underground. Of course, this morning, 4 illegal miners emerged from shaft 10 at the Stilfontein Mine in Northwest. As you've heard there from Thabiso, there are various shafts that are being used now, 11, 10. There was also shaft Margaret also being used. But we'll continue to give you an update as soon as we have it from our reporters on the ground.